Good morning, all of you. So, as we know that in last class, I have taught you what is gravitation and what is the introduction of gravitation, and mainly I have taught you difference between gravitational and gravity. Is it yes or no? So, the force exerted by any two bodies in this universe is called as gravitational force. Is it yes or no, guys? So, the force is present. Any two bodies across this universe is called as gravitational force, but particularly the force exerted by Earth is called as what, guys? The force exerted by Earth is called as
Gravity.
the force exerted by
Gravity of
any body in this universe is called as gravitational force, particularly
Gravitational force.
exerted by Earth. We have given a special name, so as we are living on the Earth,
Gravity.
that is called as gravity. Correct or not? So now
Gravity.
we are going to study the first important concept in this gravitation chapter. That is what we are calling as universal law of gravitation. What we should call, guys? Universal law of gravitation.
Universal law of gravitation.
Universal law of gravitation was given by a scientist name called as Mr. Newton. Who has been given this one? The universal law of gravitation is given by Newton. So, sir, what is this universal law of gravitation? We'll study, I think, at this end of this today's class. So, first, all of you should understand what is this law of gravitation and how to derive it. Okay. So, it has been given by whom, guys? It has been given by Newton. That is why it has been set by Newton. That is why it is also we can called as, also known as Newton's law of gravitation. Please remember, universal law of gravitation. Also we can called as what?
Newton's law of
Newton's
gravitation.
law of
Law
gravitation.
of gravitation. Everybody should remember Newton's law of gravitation. So whenever you are writing gravitation, understanding. So capital G, you may be understand at last the symbol of universal law of gravitation is capital G. What is that? Capital G.
Capital G.
Try to understand very carefully, Varshini, everybody, what is this universal law of gravitation means. As we know that in last class I have taught you, if you take any two bodies in the universe, definitely some force is acting between them. Is it yes or no, guys? Please.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Yes or no? And I have taught you in the
Yes,
last
sir.
class, maybe remember. So any two bodies, for example, if you take me and sun also. So sun, definitely the force is present between me and sun. But I am not attracted by the sun, or I am not falling towards the sun, or sun is not falling towards to me. Why? Because of that force is what? That force is very, very negligible. What is that force, Ra? Negligible.
Very negligible.
Force because of why? Very huge distance. What is that, guys? Very
huge distance.
That is the reason. Because of this reason, distance is very, very millions of kilometers. That is the reason. No effect of force on any body. Is it true, or guys? Will you accept that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No? Now, with the help of that only, what Newton said, what is Newton's law of gravitation or universal law of gravitation means? Remember, let me imagine I am assuming as a two bodies. One body is called as A. What is this body called as? A.
A.
So definitely their center will be there. Is it yes or no? Every body is having
Yes,
center.
sir.
Accept it, guys?
Sir.
I'm
Yes,
considering
sir.
two bodies here. So everybody is having what? Center. What is that? Center. So let me.
Center.
This body is called as A. What is this body called as?
A.
This body called as A. Another body is called as B. What is this body called as? B.
B.
Now, observe very carefully what is universal law of gravitation, or we can say Newton's law of gravitation means every body in the universe. What is that, guys? Every body
Every body in the universe
attracts every other body. Do you understand? Every body in this universe attracts every other body with a force, certain force. That force, how it is present means, which is directly proportional to the, what is that, guys? which is
Directly proportional to
product of their masses. What is that, guys? Directly proportional to the product of their mass,
product of their masses.
inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Understand, right? 2 points I'm saying here. So what I'm saying, you consider any two bodies in this universe, definitely some force is acting between them. So how that force will be? That force is directly proportional to the product of their masses. What is that, guys? Directly proportional
to the product of their masses.
and
Product of the masses.
inversely proportional to the understanding square of distance between them. What is that, Shruti? Square of
Square of distance between them.
Square of distance between them.
that is, you should understand. So that is what. Now suppose two bodies I am assuming here. What is that bodies, everybody? What is that bodies? A and B.
Body A and body B.
The body and the
Their masses are M1 and M2. What is that masses, Ra? What is that mass?
M1 and
M1 and
M2.
M2. So let me imagine. Let the body mass A is M1 and let the body mass B, what will become, Laksha? M2.
M2.
Understand? Now, what is the definition of Newton's law of gravitation? All of you write the definition. Based upon definition, we can calculate. So what is the definition I said? Just now I said definition. Daron, can you able to say Tamil Selvan, Sai?
Sir, mass is directly proportional
Yeah.
to
The force exerting between any two bodies. What is that? Directly proportional
Directly
to
proportional to the mass.
their mass.
Product
and inversely proportional to the square.
inversely proportional to the square of the distance.
And the distance also, Shruti, very important here. Everybody listen. The distance also not from edges and are not from this edge to this edge, not from this edge to this edge. Distance between from their centers. What is that? Centers. That
Centers.
Centers.
distance between from their centers. Exactly, I'm saying you. It is not between starting point. Understand, guys? From exactly center to center. Understand, Shruti? Clear? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
You should remember. So people will think that distance means from this point. Understand? From this point to this point, or else from this point to this point. That is not. From where? From the center.
From the center.
Called as what we should call? We should call it as
Distance.
distance. Understanding the centers, distance between the centers. Exactly. All of you draw this picture first. All of you draw this picture. Later only we'll write the definition. The distance should be where? It should be from centers. Understand, Ra? Brothers, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Elmokil, understand, Elmokil? Tamil Selvan?
Yes, sir.
Arun?
Sir.
Yeah, that is so. That is what the Newton's law of gravitation. It is present between where? Present between their centers. So let me make this one as arrows so that you can understand more nicely. Double arrow is there here. So let us make it this way. Okay, guys. Now I think it is better.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ra? All of you. So this is only what we should call.
Yes, sir.
What we should call this one? This one is called
Distance.
R. Understand? Distance we can say. D you can represent, R you can represent with the R. What basically we can represent with what? R we can say. Okay? From their centers, not from their edges, not from here to here or from here to here. Understand, Ra? From where to where? From centers. Understand, Ra? That is you should remember. So now this is what we should call as R. So let us write the definition of this one first. Later you can understand. So what is the definition, guys? Write the definition, all of you. Everybody in the universe, everybody in the universe, everybody in the universe, understand, Ra? Laksha, understand? Universe attracts every other body every other body, Varsini, understand Varsini? Every other body
Yes, sir.
with a force, that force is how ra? Directly proportional to what, Pradosh?
Product of
Mass.
masses.
Product of masses. Very good. Understanding. Directly proportional to with a force which is directly proportional to the which is
Product of mass.
yes, which is directly proportional to the product of masses. Understand, Tarun, Tamil Selvan? Product of masses and inversely proportional to the inversely proportional to the what? Inversely proportional to the what? Square of the distance between them.
Square of the distance.
Yes.
Square of the distance between them.
Square of the distance between them. So the distance here representing with what? Distance between them. What is that representation of distance here?
R.
That is. So confusing, you can write. Let mass of body A, which is equals to what? M1. Mass of body B, which is equals to what? M2. Understanding distance between them from where to where?
From their
From
center
center
point.
Center of mass
Lakshya,
and
after
center of B.
universe, every other object here, I think very good. So every other object you should remember. So here universe spelling is wrong. Universe, okay. Every other object, okay. So distance between from where to where, Monish? From their center.
Center to center.
Yes. Distance between from their centers, centers which is equals to what? R, that is. So now, from the definition, observe carefully, all of you. Split the definition into two parts. What is the definition? Two parts. All of you observe. One is what? Directly proportional to the product of their masses. And another one is what? Inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Any doubt, guys? This is the first part. And this is the second part. Yes or no? Laksha, write this definition fastly. Are you understand, guys? Definition contains how many parts? Elamokil, Monish, two parts. One is
Two parts, sir.
proportional to the masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between.
Square of the distance.
From that, observe very carefully. First definition, mathematical representation I want. So let me see who will make mathematical representation. So according to the universal law of gravitation, that is what the universal law of gravitation. What is the first point? All of you write. What is the first point? The force between the two bodies is what? Directly proportional to the product of their masses. That is what the first point. Is it yes, guys? Please respond me.
Sir.
Sir.
Here, what is the mass M? What is the mass of the body one? Mass of the body one is M1. Correct or not?
M1.
The mass of the body two is 2. So, in definition, according to the Newton's law of gravitation, they are how they are present? Force is directly proportional to the product of masses. So, that is what equation. So, according to the Newton's law of gravitation, force is directly proportional to product of masses. What is that masses? M1 and M2.
1 into M2.
This is the equation 1. What is this? Equation 1. Understand, guys? Any doubt in this? Now, let us go with the second part of the definition. Nityasri, what is the Varshini? What is the second part of the definition? Force is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So what is the inversely proportional means? Force is
1 by 2.
inversely proportional to. Inverse means what? 1
1 by 2.
by R square. What is that, guys? 1 by r square. So this is what we should call as two definitions from the two parts. From the definition, Newton's law of gravitation or universal law of gravitation, we can write two things. One is what? Force is directly proportional to mass into product of their masses and inversely proportional to what? Square of distance between them.
Square of
It out in this. That is Monish. Universal law of gravitation also we can call it as what, Monish? Darun? Also we can call it as Newton's law of gravitation. It has been said by whom? It has been said by Newton. Okay, guys? That is, you should remember. It has been given by Newton. That is the reason. Now, combine 1 and 2, guys. Anybody? Combine 1 and 2. What we used to get? Shruti? Combine 1 and 2. Alana? Laksha? Combine. Write it. Combine 1 and 2. Let me see who will say. If you'll combine 1 and 2, what we used to get the equation? Please respond me. If I'll combine
F is
1 and 2,
equal
what
to
will get?
2m and
Directly proportional to m1 into m2 divided by r square. Is it right or wrong? Is it right? Yes, guys?
yes, sir.
Or else, if you want, you can write like this. F is directly proportional to product of masses into inversely proportional to what, guys? Square of distance. So m1 into m2 into 1. Same thing, correct? Yes or no? This
Yes,
one again,
sir.
can I write like this or not? This one again, can I write like this or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Combined form. So now in mathematics and also last chapter also I have taught you, if I want to remove this proportionality, then I have to bring something. What is that called as, guys? That is what we should call as constant. Understand?
Constant.
I want to bring this proportionality, and if I need to bring the equals to sign, understand, Varsini? If I want to bring the equals to sign, then I have to bring some constant. What I have to bring? I have to bring some constant. That constant here I am assuming as a z. What I am assuming, guys? Z. Respond me, z. And here what will come? F. F is equals to z into what will come formula? M1 into M2 divided by
R square.
square. Understand, guys? Till now, any doubt, anybody? Yes or no? How this G came? How this G came? G means what?
Constant.
Proportionality.
Constant.
Proportionality, if you want to remove in mathematics, we want to take some constant. Understand? That constant only called as G here. Understand, Ra? Okay, yes or no, all of you?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
now,
Yes,
this
sir.
G, you may understand. What is this G called as? G is not
Gravitational
only called as
Gravitational.
constant.
Gravitational
A
force.
constant which is known as called as what? Universal gravitational constant. G is called as universal gravitational constant. So this value is always constant. What is that? Throughout the universe, wherever you will go in the universe, the G value is constant between any bodies. Gravitational. Please, all of you write it. G is called as what? Universal gravitational constant. I want to write that. Universal gravitational constant. Understand, guys? We will calculate this value also. This value is always constant throughout the universe. Understand, guys? That is also most important. Always constant throughout the universe. Throughout the universe. Understand, Varsini?
Sir, 1 minute. Can you show me the formula, sir?
This is the formula. Don't copy. Try to remember the derivation. You should not be forget the law of universal law of gravitation. What is that? You'll forget the formula in exam also. You should remember. What is that? Directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to what?
Proportional to the square of distance between
Square
them.
of
Centers.
between them.
Between their what, Elemokil? Centers. Because nobody will say about the centers. They will say from between them, they will say. But from where to where? From their centers. Because every object will attract another object towards to its where? Towards to its center only. Understand, Ra? towards to its center. That is the reason we will use the word called as center here. Any doubt in this? Respond me, all of you. Yes.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Understood.
This value, the value of this gravitational constant G does not depend on the medium between the two bodies. Whatever it is present or nothing is present also. Understanding? Nothing is influencing this G. That is why does not depends on the masses of the bodies or distance between them also. Always this G is what? G is always constant. What it is, guys? It is always constant. That is what you should remember. Please keep note. That is why I said always this G value is constant. Understand, Ra? It is not depends on note. Note, all of you right. G does not depends on medium between two bodies. What is that, guys? Medium between two bodies. What is by medium, Pradosh? What do you mean by medium, Pradosh? Means between, suppose me and you, air is present, correct or not? Me and you
Air is a
can understand.
gaseous medium.
Suppose in space, nothing is present like that. If it is something is present or not, doesn't matter. Understanding? G value will never varies. Okay, guys? G value is not at all depending on them. Also, G value is not depend on, does not, or else independent of masses. Does not depends on. Understand, Ra? Depends on masses and as well as distance between the bodies. What is that, guys? Distance between
the bodies.
you have to remember. It is always independent factor. This B bar W indicate what? B bar W indicate what? Between. I will write the shortcut. That is why. So it does not. It is an independent of mass and as well as understanding and as well as distance between them. But small g will come. Small g will be depends on it. That is what the difference between capital G and small g. Small g will study later. Okay. Now this is big G. What is that? Capital G we can say. Capital G indicate what, guys? Capital G indicate what? Gravitational constant.
Universal gravitational
You
constant.
remember this formula. What is this formula, Maunesh? Darun, read this formula. F is equals to what? F is equals to
F is equal to G M1 into M by R
square. You will observe.
Sir.
It will give you the gravitational force of attraction. What it will give you? Gravitational force of attraction.
attraction.
Two bodies of masses. What is that masses? M1 and M2.
M1 and M2.
At a distance what? What distance? What is the distance between them? Elvokil, Tamil Selvan. Distance
Number centers.
R.
So this formula will give you what, Ra? It will give you the force acting between two bodies. Understand, Ra? What is that? This formula will give you
Force acting between two
Force
bodies.
acting between two bodies.
between two bodies of masses what? Masses M1 and M2.
M1 and M2.
Distance of R.
R square.
That is what the not R square, R. Understand, Varshini? It is not R square. R square is a formula. Understand? But
Yes.
the distance between them is called as R. What is R? That is it. Okay. Diagram you should remember. So that universal law of gravitation, the formula will give you what? The force acting between these two bodies. The force acting between these two bodies. What is this bodies? Body A, body B, which are having masses what? Masses M1 and
M1 and M2.
And the distance is what, Maunesh? Distance is
R.
Newton's law of gravity. Yes, someone will ask you, what universal law of gravitation will give? What it will give, Rael Mokil? What it will give? It will give
The force of
One and
gravitation.
which force, Ra? Gravitational force.
Gravitational force.
That is you should remember. So here, F indicate what, guys? F indicates what? Gravitational force. That is I want it. Gravitational. Everybody note it down. Tamil Selvan, you also. Alana. Gravitational force of attraction. Understand? That is you should remember. So we will calculate this value also. I am saying it is independent of three factors. What is that? Independent of medium between present two bodies, also independent of masses of the bodies, and also what? Distance between these two bodies. Correct, guys? Now, let us observe very carefully, all of you. I want to say you 2 points here. Later we will derive the G value. Is it okay, guys? Respond me.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Formula is applicable. When this formula is applicable, everybody must know this. This formula is applicable anywhere in this universe. You can go Mars, you can go Moon, you can go any other etc. Wherever you can go in this universe, and it is a mathematical expression. For what purpose? Universal law of gravitation. What is that? Universal law.
Universal law of
You can
gravitation.
use on Earth, you can use on Moon, you can use on space, anywhere. The universal law of expression, this is, you can use anywhere to calculate force between the two bodies. Understand? Throughout the universe. Understand? Because why? It is independent of what? It is independent of medium between them, masses, and as well as what? And distance between them. Understand, guys? This G value
Yes,
does
sir.
not change. So we can calculate the force anywhere in this universe by using this formula. That is, you should understand. But in this formula, if you observe, what is the formula? Tamil Selvan, read loudly. What is that formula? What is that formula? Please
M1
respond.
into M2 by R2.
F is equal to G into F1 into
F is
M2.
equal to G
M1
M1
into
into
M2
M2 by
by
R
R
square.
Since the gravitational force between the two bodies is inversely proportional, correct or not, guys? Inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Is it yes or no? Please respond me.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Now, if we double the distance between the two bodies, then what will happen, guys? Anybody can say R will become 2R. Then what will become the force? Anybody? Because observe very carefully. This is the most important. Shruti, are you understand, Shruti? F is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. Yes or no, Varshini? Now,
Yes, sir.
my question is, let me see. My question is, if R will become 2R, double, it will become double, then what is the force? What is the effect of force, I am asking? If R will become
Sir,
2R,
it become halved.
in the sense of double, then what will become the force? Not half.
Sir, it
Observe very carefully. Force will become, understand, you can see, R will become what? R will become what?
2R square.
2R whole square. So, which will turns into what? F directly proportional to 1 by 4R square. What is that? 4R square.
4R square.
So let me imagine this is the F1. This is the F1 and this is what it will become, guys. F2. What will become? F2. Understand, Yelmukil, Shruti, everybody. Now, Varshini,
Yes, sir.
can I write this one as F2 directly proportional to 1 by 4 into 1 by R square? Can I write it or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? 1 by R
Yes,
square
sir.
means what? Observe very carefully. 1 by R square means what? 1 by R square means what?
F is indirectly proportional to 1 by
1 by R square means what? Which is equals to what? F1. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
1 by R square means I can write F1 is directly proportional to 1 by 4 F1. So if if the distance between them become double, so then force is decreasing how many times, Ra? How many times?
1 by 4.
1 by, understanding 1 by 4 means 4 times it is decreasing. Any time it is, ask me anybody, Laksha, everybody. Clear? Shruti, Pradosh?
Sir.
So if if distance will become double, then force is decreasing how many times? Force is decreasing 4 times.
1 by 4.
Gravitational becomes 1/4 now. If distance become halved, if the bodies will come close, distance become halved. Let me see who will say. Anybody? Observe very carefully and tell me. Could not understand how it will become F1, sir. Laksha, once again I will explain, listen. Now, two bodies are present at some distance. The distance is called as what distance, guys? What is the distance? R. Okay, Ra? Now,
Yes, sir.
R I am making as 2R. Understand, Laksha? 2R. Okay, Laksha, respond me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if the distance is r, what is the force, Ram? What is the force is acting? Force is directly proportional to 1 by r square. Oh, sorry, inversely proportional to r square. Correct? Yes. Let me imagine this is F1. Is it okay, guys? For r distance, force is
Yes, sir.
F1. Now, double. R will become double. R will become double in the sense of what? We want F2. Then what is the change in force they are asking? So now body become double distance. So 1 by 2r square will come. Is it okay, Laksha? 2r square.
Okay, sir.
No. Now you can see F2 directly proportional. Symbol is proportionality. 1 by 2r square means what? Everybody 4r square. Is it right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So means in the sense of force is decreasing how many times? If distance become double, force is decreasing how many times? How many times?
8.
8 times. 1 by 4 only correct.
4 times.
Now you can see F2 directly proportional to, I can write 1 by 4 into 1 by r square. Any doubt in this? Respond me. This I can write like
No,
this.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
1 by r square means it is equals to what? You can check it. Which is equals to what?
F1.
F1.
Understand? That is why. So instead of 1 by r square, I can write what? 1 by r square into F1. So if the distance between them become double, then force is decreasing how many times, Ra? How many times? 1/4 time.
4
Understand?
1/4.
Understand, Laksha?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Now, my second case is, Shruti, understand, Shruti, this one most important for you. You have to understand for numericals. Varshini, you?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Let us say second case. The bodies are present between the distances. Darun, you also respond me. What is the distance between them? R. Okay, guys?
R.
Now, in this case, let me imagine this is the case one. This is the case one. Now, what is the force, Ra? Force, can you say? F1 is equals to 1 by r square.
1 by r square.
Okay? Elamukil, understand, Elamukil?
Yes, sir.
Distance become half. Distance become half. Half means in the sense of what? Monish? Half.
R by
R by
Oh, R by 2.
2. Understand, Ra? Then what is the force they are asking? So force become how many times? Let us check. 1 by R become what, guys? Respond me, everybody. Alana, Shruti, R become what? R become R by 2. R become R by 2 whole square. So what is this? Elmukil, you speak here, Tamil Sampan, everybody. 1 by R square divided by 4. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, division is again having division. So that what will happen, guys? This 4 will go. This 4 will go.
Numerator.
So
Multiplication.
4 by R square.
4
Is it
r square.
4 by R square.
Yes,
Yes or no? Now, this one I can write as a F2 is
4
directly
into
proportional
1 by r
to
square.
1
Sir.
by R square. Yes or no? So, understand,
Yes,
Laksha?
sir.
So 1 by R square means what, guys? 1 by R square means what?
1.
1 by
So
F1.
F2 is directly proportional to 4 into
4 into
So if the distance between them become half, then force is increasing how many times, Ra? Force is
4
increasing
times.
4
times.
times.
Understand? Varshini, understand, Varshini? Nobody will say like this.
Sir.
No teacher will say like this. What they will say, directly they will put 1 point. What is that point means? If the force, if the distance between them become for 2 times, then the force will become 1/4, and the distance become half, then the force become 4 times. That's all. That statement alone they will say. You understand or not, they won't take care. Nobody will explain like this also. That is why I am saying you have to be more careful. If distance become half, force increases 4 times. If distance become double, force decreases 4 times. Okay, guys? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Meeting is going to end. Derive these 2 things. Later only I will give the statement. Derive these 2 things your own, all of you. All of you do it. I hope everybody understand. Darun, Tamil Selvan, are you clear, Tamil Selvan? Alana, Laksha, Sai,
Yes, sir.
Sai, are you understand, Sai?
Yes, sir.
Okay, solve it now. I will give the statement. Meeting is going to end. Solve it. Who will join again? I will give the statement. Everybody solve. Please understand, Monish.